What's up, everybody? Welcome to the new Go Figure Set and Studio here. We've had a lot of work done. Ty's been working hard. Jillian's been working hard to make a beautiful, beautiful studio. Jillian, how's our audio looking? Is it sounding good? We got good audio? Oh, audio's good. All right, comment in there. Let us know how the visual is, how the audio is, and tell us, what you think about the new studio. What's your interpretation of it? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Frankly, I'm very impressed with it, and it reminds me of some other guys out there that have good studios, but actually I think the wood turned out even nicer.
Yeah, Juan did a great job. We got a few shiny spots. We're gonna take care of the shiny spots, but we figured it was time to get in here and get after it again.
No question. We'll get maybe that 2 Comma Club X award back here, and we'll be all set up. So today's episode, boys and girls, we're going to have to run through it pretty quick because both Ty and I have a hard stop in the next 20 minutes where we have important calls and we've got to jump on. But let's just dive into this. We've got smart money secrets we use to build an 8-figure business that every entrepreneur and business owner should be using or can use. It's worked for us. I think the odds are high they'll work for you, but we want to hear your feedback from that. We're going to talk about Alex Hormozi and his crazy $100 million lead launch for his book that he came out with last weekend. And that's probably where maybe we'll have a quick comment about the NFL season starting next week. So that's what's on tap for today. And see if my mouse wants. Oh, there it is. It's working.
Hey, Leo,
sort of.
You want to pull your mic just closer to you, just a tiny bit?
All right. Is that better?
That's much better.
See, we're getting our technical difficulties worked out now so that we don't have to work them out in the future. All right, so let's jump into it. 6 smart money secrets we used to build an 8-figure business. The first thing that we want to mention here is it's important. We've talked about this a little bit in terms of being fundable and strategies. But if you're trying to create an 8-figure business, that means you need to grow. And if you need to grow, Ty, what's like a really big requirement that you probably need if you're going to grow?
You need money.
You got to have access to money. You got to have access to the Benjamins, the dollars that you're going to need to invest in your business and grow that business. And so the first smart money secret we want to talk about today is having available credit. And that can be done through a business line of credit. That can be done through business and personal credit cards. It can be done through a home equity line of credit. And I would probably list those 3 as maybe your top options. Anything you would add to that if you're looking to really grow and scale a business?
Yeah, those are the biggest things right there, Leo. The one that I wanted to make sure we added to that was a home equity line of credit, just because, that's typically you can get access to capital and dollar amounts you won't get with just a normal credit card. Typically get really, really favorable rates, and you don't have a payment on it unless you actually use it. So I think a HELOC every business owner should have if they own a home.
And if you look at kind of what we've stacked up, and we've stacked up a lot of credit, for 7 figures, for the My Figures platform, a lot of different businesses that we're building and growing and scaling right now. And if you had to break it up between the two of us, I think we have about $1 million in available credit between business credit cards, home equity lines of credit, business lines of credit. Like, that's actually available money that we can tap into for. And I always say there's 2 things you tap it for, right? Big opportunities and big emergencies. And they're both important. And the thing is, one of the smart money secrets to grow into an 8-figure business is you need to have that money available that you can tap into. That can obviously include cash in your business checking bank account, your savings accounts. But at the end of the day, you want to have quick, accessible cash.
Yeah, and I think a lot about this too, Leo, just from a comfort level standpoint, right? Thinking about the early phases of our business and some big, important moves we had to make. We had to get that partner CRM. Right, we had to set up relationships with term loan platforms, which all seem to be anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000. And if we were just so reliant on our cash, even if we had the cash, we may not have made that move because it was like, well, what if we can't make payroll because we put all of our cash into this that we may not see the rewards for 6 months. By having that available credit, it gives you the confidence to actually make these moves you need to make to grow and scale as a business, so you're not feeling so handcuffed and cash strapped all the time.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you think about even something as simple as maybe a payroll error of $17,000. I always said, where are we going to find this extra money? And so these are like legit problems. Sometimes your merchant account gets locked up. And so you've got to have backup cash there. And then you've got to also have the backup lines of credit, business credit cards that are available for you to tap into in times of emergency, break glass. So that's number one. Smart money secret number two is you've got to master your personal credit. Why is personal credit so important if you want to build an 8-figure business?
Because it was always going to be a factor in determining whether or not you qualify for funding, right? I don't care if it's a business credit card, a business term loan, a business line of credit. They may not report it personally. Most times they won't report it personally, Leo,
True.
but they will look at that personal credit of the business owner and say, hey, is this someone that pays back their debts? Which I don't blame them, frankly.
And Ty, they're going to look at it with everything. If you
Yeah.
want to run payroll and pay your employees, the payroll company is going to check your credit. You're going to need some type of insurance for your business. Guess what? They're going to determine if you get that insurance based off of your credit. If you want to offer health insurance to your team, to your employees, which is, you've got to do that if you're going to be competitive in today's world, they're going to check your credit. And so for every misinformation lie out there of, oh, just build the business's credit. Well, yes, build the business's credit, but if your personal credit isn't mastered and in a good spot, and I would say 750 or better is where you want to be, then it's going to be tough.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
tough
just
and very expensive.
Yep. All right, number three, we've got earn cash back for all your business and your personal expenses. A lot of people think, oh, use your debit card and, pay cash for all of your business expenses. But what you actually want to do, and we've got a great example of this, right? We started working with a company that was going to provide a software service for us. And they asked us, hey, how do you want to pay for this? And I thought, well, worst case scenario, if you don't deliver and do what you say you're going to do, which is unfortunate. It happens in business. People make promises. They don't follow through. Well, if I had paid that with the debit card, we'd just be out that money. But because I paid it with a business credit card, there's protection, there's backup. I can dispute those charges when the company doesn't fulfill what they promised to. And now I've got a way to protect myself, as well as obviously all the cashback rewards that you get. I mean, you can rack up thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in just free cash back money. That's cash in your pocket you can use to grow the business. You can take your family on vacation just by using that for your business expenses and your personal expenses.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing a lot of people miss out on, I think it's just a matter of not knowing how to actually utilize it, or not even knowing that it exists, is the insurance that comes with these credit cards, which it always blows my mind. I wonder how much these credit card companies are actually paying these insurance companies to be able to provide it. But at the end of the day, a lot of these credit card nowadays, you get personal property insurance. You break your phone, you have a policy via your credit card company to go get a new phone. Someone steals an Amazon package off your front doorstep. You have insurance via your credit card company to have that recovered. So, I think it's really, really important that you set up your online account for any credit card, go into your rewards, your perks, your insurance, your travel bonuses, and really learn everything that card comes with, because chances are you've probably broken a phone and gone out and purchased a new one. And guess what? The credit card company may have just bought one for you.
No question. And there's a certain amount of discipline that comes here too. If you're going to be successful at number one, you actually want to avoid paying interest if you can. Now, at some point you might have to pay interest, and that's okay. If you pay 10, 15, 20% interest and you're making 200% on that money, that's just fine. But as you grow the business, you want to try and avoid paying interest as much as possible. That's just empty expenses. And so one of the factors is you have to be disciplined enough to be paying your personal and your business credit card down every single month. That way you actually avoid paying any interest. As long you usually have 30 to 45 days to pay that off and avoid interest. And even though we have a six-figure business card, we've never paid a dime of interest because we pay that down religiously. And so there's a certain amount of discipline. I remember when I was younger and I would get a new credit card, I wouldn't always do that, right? I'd just be paying interest. And so when you get disciplined and you pretty much try to avoid paying interest as much as possible, I feel like that's another secret. You just can't be flushing money down the drain. Now, if you have a great opportunity, you pay the interest, that's not a problem. But at some point, you're disciplined enough, you have enough cash flow that hopefully you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, absolutely. And setting up some sort of system where you actually see these interest charges. I think a lot of people just forget about it. They ignore it. And it's like, if I wasn't using something like My Figures, $100 transaction on one of my 12 credit cards would get lost so quickly. But you can set up something like myfigures.com, see all of your transactions in one spot, create a filter that says, I just want to see fees. I want to see interest charges. Now you can actually see how much money you are flushing down the toilet by not getting that debt transferred over to something like 0%.
Exactly right. And the three final secrets here, smart money secrets, all very similar here. Number one, you want to move high interest credit card debts to new 0% interest, because that way you're financing your business for free. You're not paying any interest. And that's still the only way you can do that is with 0% interest business and personal cards that you can leverage to grow your business and actually avoid paying interest. So that's a big secret. And then also you have to be profitable with your business based on a unit. So for example, with the previous funding company we had that we were working at, I was pretty certain we were actually not making money. Like if a client came in and we helped them out, we were probably breaking even a lot of the time, or maybe even losing money. And so if one client comes in, and you're in a service-based business, let's say you're doing a flooring business, right? You have a flooring job. The client comes in. How much does it cost in advertising to get that client in the door? How much are your labor costs? How much are your material? And do you actually have profits left over to cover the business and earn a profit as a business owner? And if you don't know that per unit, you can get in trouble very, very fast.
Oh yeah, I see business owners make that mistake all the time. They come into us, they come in here to get funding, and they'll submit their bank statements and be like, I'm doing so much revenue, and whatever, that's something different for everyone. To a lot of people, that's 50K. Some people it's $1 million, but they'll always say, I'm doing so much revenue. But the problem is at the end of the month, every single dollar that you made is going out to something else. So no, you're not profitable. You're not cash flow positive because you didn't understand your unit there. So
exactly right. And the cool thing about the Money Manager and the app My Figures is not only can you manage all your accounts in one place, but the next iteration, you're going to be able to pay all your bills in one spot. There's going to be a funding section to identify, hey, you're paying high interest here. Move these over to these new 0% interest accounts. You'll save thousands of dollars. And one of the core features I absolutely attribute to us growing to an 8-figure company is our weekly money date, where we're going through the money as business owners, personally in our families, and also the business, and going through how was our income, right? How much went out to payroll? What overhead expenses do we have? Did we generate a profit for the month, for the quarter, for the year? And if you aren't having that weekly money date to track that you're actually progressing, and you're not using, a software platform like My Figures, it's very difficult because you never actually know if you're winning. And half of business owners kind of they leave it up to someone else, or you leave it up to an accountant or somebody else. And at some point, the buck stops with you as the entrepreneur business owner. You've got to be managing that. And if you don't know where you stand as a business owner and personally, then it's pretty tough to know if you're winning.
yeah, absolutely. You look at finances on the personal side of things, Leo, and they're saying that this generation of subscriptions is causing a lot of financial hardship and causing a lot of debt because it's only $12 a month. Well, if you have 27 things that are charging you $12 a month, that really starts to add up. But I think a lot of times business owners forget how many subscriptions they have as well. And how, as you're trying to grow, how many different trial accounts you set up, that maybe you have 90 days free and you forget to cancel it. So now you're charged, or your first year of using a phone system is $29.99 a month. And then every year thereafter is $49.99. So if you're not constantly logging in and checking these little subscriptions that may seem like nothing when you sign up, those really, really add up. So it's just as important for a business to know and understand their subscriptions as it is for individuals. And they're proving that to be one of the major issues causing debt and financial hardship for the younger generation. So it's the exact same thing for businesses.
Absolutely. Sometimes you actually need to just go out and cancel your business credit card, say it's lost, and get a new one. And that way you can kind of reassess, well, which of all these subscriptions do we actually really need? And then once you can take a look at that, you're like, okay, I don't even know what this is. I'm going to cancel that. And be careful. Sometimes it'll actually be something important. So check with your team, check with your developers, your chief technology officer, whoever's managing the back-end software of your company. But ultimately, there's always a lot of waste in there. And, we don't want to be like the government and waste money.
Learn something interesting about that, something new about that too, Leo, is that when you call to get a new credit card, if that credit card is tied to so many different things that it's on auto pay, actually just getting a new credit card number isn't necessarily going to stop those payments.
We just learned that the hard way.
Exactly, because if you connected it to a mobile wallet and you signed up for a subscription via the wallet, it's going to tie that. I believe they said it ties it to your account number, not necessarily that specific credit
Sure
card
does.
number, or you logged into your Chase account through their portal. Well, that's not going to do anything. So when you call Chase and say, hey, I've got way too many things going through, I need to cancel this card, I need to put a stop pay on everything that's occurring. That's the key there, because I made that mistake as well.
Got to double or triple check that stop pay is actually active and on the file, because sometimes the representative might not actually get that done. So that's been a painful lesson. Make sure your stop payment is actually working there, and you'll avoid a lot of pain there. So guys, that was our money topic. That was 6 smart money secrets that have helped us to build an 8-figure company. Will they help you? I think the odds are probably pretty high they will, but there's probably some other smart money secrets that you've discovered throughout the years. So share those in the comments so that everybody can take advantage of those, and we can all incorporate more tactics and tools to build 8-figure businesses, take better care of our family. So that was our money topic, Ty. Let's jump into our mastery topic. And this is really almost a case study in just someone who's delivering a lot of value, someone who's built not only an 8, but actually 9-figure businesses. I think his portfolio is doing over $200 million a year right now. And that's Alex and Layla Hormozi. And they did this big, huge launch. You probably saw it. We emailed out to a lot of our subscribers and let you guys know about it. But it was the launch of a new book called $100 Million Leads. And it's a project that Alex has been working on for the past 2 years. His first book came out, and it was called $100 Million Offers. And it's how to create a really great offer that can generate $100 million in annual sales. And then it's like, all right, well, now that you know the importance of creating a great offer, whether it's a product or a service, well, how are you going to tell people about that? And that's what the leads was all about. And so I think I was at my son's football game coaching, and you attended, and then I attended. I watched the replay after. But what were some of your thoughts as you were watching Alex launch this book and seemingly made this really amazing offer to the audience?
You know what's funny, Leo, is as I was watching it, I'm kind of a skeptic by nature. I always think, why is some people only do things for themselves? What's the play here? What's the move here? And I need to go rewatch it and eliminate that secondary conversation, because my mind just kept going off on these, this is his verdict, this is what he's doing. But no, he really just delivered a ton of value. And I think, my personal take on this is he doesn't need the money to be a coach or a consultant. He doesn't need that type of money. The dude's set. The dude has so much money, and he's trying to build something so much bigger than a coaching or training organization. He's trying to develop the largest portfolio of businesses in the world. And for you, say we had a business that had all these competing offers. Right now, if you could have Alex Hormozi come purchase your business and be your partner versus some big VC firm, who are you going with?
Oh, Alex, all day long, because you feel like you know him, and he's delivered so much value to help you that you're like, I'd love to work with him versus, some corporate venture capital firm, some corporate private equity firm, and you really don't even know, what their actual motives are, and a lot of the times those things can not work out so well.
Exactly. I think he's just building this massive following. He's building so much trust. He's providing so much value so that you can grow, you can scale. And when it is time to exit, I know exactly who's going to be my number one investor, right? So I think what he's doing is brilliant. I love, you can probably talk a little bit more about it. I know we're short on time, but I thought the way he talked about lead magnets and his approach towards lead magnets was awesome, because sometimes you forget about how that is important, how important that actually is. But no, I thought it was very well delivered. He's amazing.
Yeah, no question. Lead magnets, and he talks about just delivering so much value. And if people won't give you their time to take advantage of a lead magnet, then your lead magnet's probably not very good. And so a lot of us maybe have a free download, a one-pager, some PDF, some little free book that's 5 or 10 pages, and it should be solving a problem that your ideal client or customer is confronting, and show them how to solve that problem, but then lead them to the next step they can take to go along that journey of solving that problem permanently. And hopefully that's where you can incorporate some additional solutions where they want to take advantage of your product or service. So he just talks about delivering so much value that, well, wow, the free stuff's this good. I can't wait to see how good the paid experience is. And what was so interesting about this this book launch that Alex did was he basically did about a 90-minute, what Russell Brunson would call perfect webinar. Perfect webinar is where you tell stories to eliminate people's false beliefs and help them identify different problems in their own business, and where you can provide solutions, and eventually you make this really sexy, irresistible offer, and it starts at a higher price point, and you justify the value of it. Hey, if all this offer, if all this program or product did for you was boost your business by, $100,000 a year, would it be worth paying 20 grand to make 100? Well, sure it would, right? Or what if it only costs 5 grand to make 100? Or, is that worth it? Of course. And so you make this justification, you explain the value of what you're offering to them, you share testimonials of why it works, and then at the end, you have a final price of maybe $2,000 or $3,000. And so that's what he was doing, and he had promised for the last 2 years that he had nothing to sell people, and he was just going to be delivering free education and value with the hope that someday when you build that 8-figure business, that he could work with you and help you grow your business further and take an ownership stake, and just exactly what you're saying. So he gets to the end and people are typing all sorts of negative crap in the comments. Oh, you're a traitor, you're a liar, you're doing this, you're doing that. And he gets to the very end and he just is silent for like 5 to 10 seconds. All right, and the final price is, and he waits like a few seconds. The final price is $0. It's free. And then you could see all the different screens of people on their Zoom just blowing their mind, like, oh, this is unbelievable. And he could have easily made $50 million. And he would have had no expenses. It would have just been a training program.
Oh, yeah.
It would have just been an info product.
I mean, that
He could
studio.
have made $50 million in profit right there.
Yeah. He's got a bigger picture. He's got a much larger mindset than most of us can even comprehend. Like that studio alone was probably $500,000, probably even more than that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was Worry Studios, but it was one like that. And I've been there. It is very, very expensive.
Yeah,
so
he's in Vegas. So I think.
I guarantee it was Worry's then.
It was, yeah.
That's awesome.
Very expensive, but what an amazing presentation that he gave, and just so much value, and just a great example. He's the one person I'd say right now I'm following as much as anybody else and trying to learn from. And then so that course is free. You go to acquisition.com, you can take advantage of the course. If you haven't bought his books, you should. They're $30. Best investment you can make, way better than any MBA in college. So I would make that investment. That said, guys, we've got calls right now that we're already late for. But before we jump on to those, any sports comments? We got the NFL season starting next Thursday.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to start talking more about it. It was cut day yesterday instead of them having multiple cut days throughout the season. I think they had to drop from like 90-man roster to a 53. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people on the move these next few days. So keep that ESPN app open. And
then is it right that only 46 can dress for the games or something like that?
I can't remember. They did some weird stuff, which I don't
didn't
understand.
know that. I read that like today somewhere. I don't know if it was a post or what it was, but
yeah.
It's funny. I asked you, we were going to say, hey, what college football game are you most looking forward to this week? And you're like, I don't know of an, and I thought about it. I mean, I guess I know Utah's playing Florida because I saw that somewhere tomorrow on Thursday, but I don't really have any idea beyond that. So me, I'm an NFL guy.
Yeah, I don't care too much for college football, and we've just been too busy. So
Yep. All right. Well, go figure.